God, please send us a Tom Beers. I have no idea who Tom Beers is. I don't know who Tom Beers is.
From fierce bidding wars to jaw-dropping million-dollar discoveries, Storage Wars hooked millions with its drama, rivalries, and unforgettable finds. But behind the spotlight, a darker story was unfolding, one filled with heartbreak, shocking, tragedies, and moments where lives hung by a thread. These weren't just TV personalities. They were real people whose lives took devastating turns when the cameras stopped rolling. From sudden deaths to terrifying near misses, you won't believe. What happened to these beloved cast members? Stay tuned, because the truth behind Storage Wars will leave you stunned. Dave Hester was one of the loudest and most recognizable personalities on Storage Wars, famous for his signature "yoop" that could echo across a storage yard. As one of the show's main stars, he knew how to draw attention, win auctions, and keep the drama alive. But in 2012, he made headlines for something far more controversial, claiming that the show was staged. According to Hester, storage lockers were being salted with valuable items to make episodes more exciting. He filed a lawsuit against the network, a move that led to his firing. Yet, surprisingly, he was eventually brought back. However, his return was followed by something much worse than legal trouble. Dave Hester suffered a massive hemorrhagic stroke caused by high blood pressure and sleep apnea. One moment, he was on television bidding for treasure. The next, he was in a hospital bed, unable to speak or move. His recovery was nothing short of a miracle, but it left fans questioning whether the so-called Storage Wars curse might be more than just a rumor. Mark Belalo, known to fans as Rico Suave, stood out on Storage Wars for his sharp suits, stacks of cash, and flashy bidding style. But behind his confident TV persona, he faced personal struggles. In 2013, just 2 days after being arrested for drug possession, Belalo was found dead in his car inside the garage of his business, Belalo, Inc., in Simi Valley, California. The cause was carbon monoxide poisoning, and it was ruled a suicide. He was only 40 years old. Years earlier, he had made national headlines for returning a stolen, rare Action Comics #1, worth nearly $1 million to actor Nicolas Cage, after discovering it in a storage locker he purchased. That act of honesty became part of his legacy, making his tragic end even more shocking to fans. The Storage Wars family also suffered the loss of Gunter Nezhoda, a warm-hearted Austrian-born photographer and musician who joined the show in season 8 alongside his son, Rene Nezhoda. Known for his kindness and easygoing nature, Gunter quickly became a fan favorite. But in early 2023, Rene tearfully revealed that his father had passed away in Salt Lake City, Utah, after a 6-month battle with lung cancer caused by decades of smoking. His youngest son, Ricky, was by his side in his final hours. Fans were devastated, especially since Gunter had just begun to play a larger role on the show. Morris "Mo" Prigoff, or Mo as many called him, was a standout personality. On Storage Wars, Texas, with his bold fashion choices, sharp wit, and deep knowledge of antiques, he became one of the show's most memorable figures. Off-screen, Mo was a respected podiatrist and the owner of River Regency Modern, a store specializing in rare furniture and art. For decades, he hunted down unique pieces that told stories of their own. But after a 6-year battle with illness, Mo passed away in March 2021. He left behind a loving wife, Michaela, whom he often referred to as his wife for life. His loss was felt not just by TV fans, but also by the many people whose lives he had touched in both medicine and business. Brandon Sheets, son of the gambler Daryl Sheets, started on Storage Wars as his father's right-hand man. But in 2017, citing budget cuts, producers let him go. After his TV career, Brandon worked as a UPS truck driver, a job that nearly cost him his life. In 2022, while asleep in the back of a semi-truck, his co-driver crashed into another truck. At 70 miles per hour, The violent impact left Brandon shaken, but miraculously with only minor injuries. Ups, however, refused to cover his personal losses from the crash, deepening his frustration. The incident bore an unsettling resemblance to other near-death experiences among former Storage Wars cast members. One of those experiences belonged to Daryl Sheets himself. In 2019, after months of unexplained illness, Daryl suffered a mild heart attack and was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, as well as a serious lung condition. Emergency surgery saved him, and his heart function slowly improved, but he never fully regained his former health. Fans noticed his absence from the announced cast list for season 16 and were concerned, especially as false rumors of his death began circulating online. In reality, Daryl was alive and running his business, Show Me Your Junk, in Havasu, Arizona. Dan and Lavra Dotson, the husband and wife auctioneer team on Storage Wars, also faced a series of frightening events. In 2014, Dan nearly died from not one but two brain aneurysms. Laura's quick reaction, calling 911 the moment she saw him collapse, saved his life. Doctors considered his survival a rare miracle. But in 2022, they faced another nightmare when their 22-year-old son, Garrett, was shot while visiting his girlfriend in Arizona. The bullet struck his vena cava, one of the largest veins in the body, causing massive internal bleeding. In a desperate move, a doctor manually massaged his heart and held the vein together during an emergency flight to Las Vegas, where surgeons saved his life. Brandy Passanti rose to fame in the very first season of Storage Wars, captivating viewers with her charm and sharp instincts. Alongside her partner Jared Schultz, she became one of the show's biggest stars, eventually earning their own spin-off, Brandy and Jared, Married to the Job. But with fame came unwanted attention. In 2020, Brandy revealed she had received disturbing letters that made her fear for her safety and her children's safety. She moved to a gated community with full-time security and began therapy to cope with the anxiety. Over time, she regained a sense of normalcy, but the experience left lasting scars. Barry Weiss, perhaps the most eccentric cast member, was beloved for his quirky outfits, vintage cars, and unusual approach to buying storage lockers. Unlike others, Barry wasn't chasing profit. He was in it for the thrill of discovery. But in April 2019, he was involved in a horrific motorcycle accident in Los Feliz, Los Angeles, when he and a friend collided with a car. Barry's injuries were severe, leading to false rumors about his death. He recovered, but the crash marked a turning point in his public appearances, and he stepped back from the spotlight. Finally, the story of Jared Schultz and Brandy Passanti took an unexpected turn. Though their chemistry made them fan favorites and landed them a spin-off, the two were never actually married. By 2021, they had split, though they continued filming together for season 13. But in May 2021, Jared was charged with domestic violence against Brandy following an incident at a bar in Orange County. Reports claimed that Brandy asked him to leave multiple times, but the confrontation escalated and allegedly turned physical. While Jared remained silent, Brandy posted a photo of a new tattoo reading, "Free," saying it symbolized her survival of a situation that could have broken her. She expressed gratitude for the peace and safety she now felt, without directly naming names. From tragic losses to shocking scandals, the untold stories of Storage Wars blur the line between coincidence and curse. Which moment shook you most? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes truths from your favorite shows. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next deep dive.